So welcome to Bangalore BizLit Fest 4.0. We mix business with pleasure. We mix business with pleasure, the pleasure of writing, reading, and deep conversations. Bangalore Business Lit Fest was founded 4 years back by Raghunathan, CEO of GMR Varalakshmi Foundation and author of bestsellers like Games Indians Play, Shankar, who's the editor of Knowledge at Wharton, Shiny Anthony, also the founder of Bangalore Lit Fest, and Sangeet Varghese, author of Open Source Leadership and Decide to Lead. I am Sangeet Varghese, and I am going to be your host for the day. And I invite our chairman, Raghunathan, to inaugurate Bangalore BizLit Fest 4.0. We mix business with pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hi. If I look a little funny, that's because my progressive lens broke. The world is out of focus. So, which is pretty good in a way because I have a very good excuse for my memory in terms of not recognizing people. Okay, so there you are. Welcome. I'm going to start this day with two questions. Why do we need business lit fests? Number one. Number two, what is your expectation from this lit fest? But before much ado, I would like to answer the questions myself. Okay? You need a business lit fest for a reason. Because increasingly in the last few years I've been noticing that not only have the books been shrinking, there are PPT versions of books, there are WhatsApp version of books, and it's only a matter of time before we have a tweet version of books. Not tweeting about books, but 300-character books. And once that happens, it will be too late to bring books back into our lives. And that's why from time to time, we need to remind ourselves that there is life beyond work. There is life beyond literature also, which is the non-fiction genre. And what can you expect from this day at this fest? To that, I can only say that what you can expect is a close, tight, and intimate day with a lot of wonderful authors and professionals. We normally concentrate on highly painstaking authors and accomplished professionals rather than rock stars. So we want people whom you can closely interact with. You will be physically very tightly packed. The sessions will be very tightly packed. And the idea of this entire Lit Fest itself is very tightly packed. So when you go out at the end of the day, which is to set your expectation right, is that you will have some ideas tightly packed in your minds as you go forward. So that's the answer to my questions, which I asked myself. You know, one role that any Lit Fest plays in our lives is this. Ideally, we should be reading books like we breathe, effortlessly, easily, continuously, in an ideal world. But we obviously don't live in an ideal world. And you know, often in my generation, it's fashionable to say that, oh, the Gen Z or the iGen doesn't read anymore. But believe me, that's not true. Even with the millennials like me, or our parents' generation for that matter, wasn't reading as much as they pretended to read. There have been any number of gatherings where I've asked people, please raise hands if you have read one professional article or a book in the last 3 years, and believe me, very few hands go up. Now, this is where we are trying to bring authors and readers together. The whole idea being that each one feeds on the other, and that's the whole purpose of this entire fest. The theme of this fest has been careers, entrepreneurship, green jobs, and technology. You see, when we were young, there were 3 jobs available. You could become an engineer, you could become a doctor, you could become a CA. If none of these, you could give at least a shot at IAS and say that, look, I tried IAS. But obviously, over the years, the kinds of jobs that we've been talking about have been changing. Even 10 years ago, we used to talk about software engineers as if they were new gift to mankind. Today, when you look at the kinds of jobs, it's an effort to remember the terminologies. We talk about, for instance, green jobs itself. What is a green job? And if you go and Google, you'll be told that it's a job associated with green chemistry. Then you say, what the heck is green chemistry? Then you say, okay, rooftop farming, sustainability farming, focused farming, precision agriculture, all of these come under green jobs. Cultured meat, green buildings, green business certification, ecotourism, wildlife tourism, wildlife education, wildlife research, socially responsible investing, social banking or ethical banking or green banking, sustainability consulting, sustainability officers, carbon analysts. No, none of these jobs we heard of 5 years ago. And that's what is of interest to the younger generation today, who obviously will be looking at careers very keenly, and they need to know that a BSc chemistry no longer is an unemployed graduate. In fact, the future belongs to the chemistry graduates. Okay? You talk about technologies, we've all heard, and we are all over with disruptive technologies. Now we are talking about robotics. We are talking about 3D printing. From 3D printing, we are talking about 4D printing, where you talk about things like active origami or shape morphing systems, where 3D is superimposed with memory, which can change with temperature, with humidity, with mixing in a medium and so on, so that you develop material which are meant for a particular purpose, which takes you also on to the nanotechnologies. For instance, you have biofabrication technology, fiber architecture, hydroelectric polymers which change shape in water and so on. So these are all basically chemistry-oriented jobs. So the future of jobs in the world of robots will be more and more chemistry-oriented, green or otherwise. I think that's going to be the take of the day. You'll listen to some very, very important thinkers in the field. We have a good lineup of professionals and authors with whom you can not only just listen here, you'll be able to interact with them. All our sessions are very small and very tight, and the whole day is going to be pretty tight. So I wish you a wonderful day, and here is wishing you all the very best. Enjoy yourself. As Sangeet was saying, it's work and play going together. Thank you very much.